Guitar Lessons with Mr. Ryan. I'm Mr. Ryan, and today I thought I would teach you an old classic, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, we're going to be learning today. And this is a great song if you're interested in bedtimes or the night sky, and it's a very simple song, and it only uses 3 fairly common chords. Although I will say the F chord in particular can be a little tricky, but that's okay. We're going to go over it together today, and I think it's going to sound really good. So the first thing, of course, you're going to want to do at the beginning of every guitar lesson is you're going to want to tune your guitar to standard tuning, which is E, A, D, G, B, E, down the strings. And then, of course, we're just going to want to make sure it sounds nice. So this guitar song has 3 chords. It has a C chord, it has an F chord, and it has a G7 chord. And that might sound a little bit complicated at the start, but that's okay. I'm going to go over each chord with you. So the first chord of this song is a C chord, and it sounds like this. It's a very nice chord with a very light sort of sound to it. And I've provided a diagram of where you should put your fingers on the guitar. And basically you should be using your index finger, middle finger, and ring finger in descending order, as you can see. And just have one on the first fret, skip a string, 1 on the 2nd fret, and then 1 on the 3rd fret. And that's all there is to playing a C. So that's the first chord of our song. And we're going to play that twice. So we're going to play that twinkle, and then again on twinkle, and then we're going to jump to the F chord, which sounds like this. Little, little, little. And the F chord is a very tricky chord because with the F chord we have to bar the fretboard. And that can be pretty tricky, and it takes a lot of finger strength, so it's okay. Sometimes you might find if your finger's not all the way down, you might get a sort of hollowed out sound, but that's okay. It takes a lot of practice to learn a proper F chord, but basically you're going to want to do a finger bar in the first fret, and then we're going to have our middle finger on the bottom of our E, A, D, G. That's going to be our G string, and then on the 3rd fret we're going to have our ring finger and pinky on the A and the D string. And that's all there is to playing a C, or playing an F, I'm sorry. So it goes twinkle, oops, twinkle, twinkle, little, and then back to C, star, then back to F. How I wonder. And here we have our 3rd chord. It's a G7th chord. And this is a very simple chord to play, especially if you already know the C chord, because all it does is it just moves your fingers just a little bit. And that's the nice thing about playing C and G7 right after each other, is that you just have to move your fingers a little bit. So here's how you create the G7th chord. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your index finger and move it down. Just move it down 1 string to the last string, that high E string. And then we're going to take our 2 fingers, our middle finger and our ring finger, and just move them up 1 string. And that's all there is to it. And that makes a nice G7th chord. I should mention that the G7th chord is a deviation from the standard G chord, which sounds like this. And this is the G7. G7. But for the purposes of this song, we're just going to be playing a G7, which is this. And it sounds very nice. And that's the whole song. So why don't we try and play it together? And right now we're just going to play 1 chord for every word in the song. I think it's a little easy that way. So try and follow along with me and see if you can play along. And it's okay if you can't do the strings perfectly or have trouble switching between chords. That's what practice is for. Let's go ahead. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Great job! You just learned how to play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star using the basic chords that are used for the song, and you were able to play along while you sang, which is very difficult to do. Now I'm going to play it again for you, but this time I'm going to speed it up a little bit, and I'm going to kind of strum to a rhythm. So I hope you guys can feel free to follow along. You can add in and do whatever you like, or if you want, you can stick with what we were just doing before, which is just playing by the chords. But let's do a little rhythm, shall we? Ready? Okay. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Fantastic work, everyone. Thank you all very much for joining me today. I'm Mr. Ryan. I hope you guys had fun learning guitar. If you want, there's some other guitar lessons available. We learned how to play the Happy Birthday song last week. But I thank you all very much for joining me today for my guitar lessons. I'm Mr. Ryan. I also do a lot of story times on this channel. And if you're looking for some great fun activities you can do at home, go ahead and check out veronalibrary.org/children. Until next time, I'll be seeing ya. Goodbye.